What's up, everybody? It's Supersmallchibiwolf, and today I'm going to be reviewing another. Another is a 12 episode anime series. It is of horror and mystery. Now, the first thing I want to talk about is the characters. The characters were good. Now, I like Mai more than the other characters because she was mysterious and she was more interesting than Koichi. But I do like, I'd say Koichi's my second favorite. And besides Mai and Koichi, the other characters they were okay-ish, and that's just me being nice, to be honest. I would say they're bad, but I don't want to just sound negative. You know, so yeah, they were okay. Let's say. Okay, so let's get into the good character first. Now, my favorite character is my Misaki. Okay, she's one of those quiet girls in anime, like Yuki Nagito from How Suzumiya or Rei Ayanami from Neon Genesis Evangelion. She's a quiet and mysterious girl. I like, that she appeals randomly in different moments, and I would say that I also like her design, with the eye patch and, no spoils, but yeah, later on as well, where we get to see other stuff. And yeah, man, her design in general was cool. I liked her, within the episodes, being the quiet girl in the anime, I'd say she does have moments where she does have, talking and has a lot of talking and all of that and interacting with people in general and stuff like that. So those are the moments which I enjoyed a lot about her as well. Now another thing I would say about her is that um, one thing we got to see a little bit of her, a little bit of backstory and facts like that. Hearing stuff about her personal life and etc. And yeah, man, I enjoyed that too. That was interesting about her and yeah, all out one of my favorite characters. Now next character I want to talk about is Koichi. Now he is a nice guy, nice peaceful guy. I say he was one guy that was interested in getting to know more about Misaki and what happened 26 years ago. I feel like his moments with Misaki were his best moments, but as a protagonist, he isn't so cool. Also, comparing him to other horror anime protagonists, he definitely isn't the best one, but focusing in just on Nara and focusing on all the characters as a whole, I'd say he's the second best character. And yeah, that's how I feel about him. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is the story. Now, no, okay, let me just say this real quick about the other characters. The other characters, they were okay, but to be honest, what I really expected from another is like, oh, the side characters are going to kind of have more of an interesting stuff and kind of feel more like, oh, I'm going to do something good or this and that, something else than what we got. Instead, what we got is, I feel like they were just basic or somewhat of not as good as other even there's even other whole animes that background characters or the other characters were even better than this one than another, and that's a thing I'd say is disappointing, to be honest. If I do have issues with another, I'd say it's the anyone else besides the two main characters, Maya and Kochi. So yeah, I'd say that's the only issue I had. So, yeah, man, I don't know. It kind of left me with a feeling of unsatisfied. But when it came to the background characters, right? Yeah. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is the story. The story starts by letting us know that 26 years ago, there was a student in classroom 39 named Misaki. Unfortunately, Misaki passes away, and years later, a new student, Koichi, arrives and gets to know everyone. And knowing this, he asks about the girl sitting alone in the back of the classroom. And throughout the day, he's trying to get to know her. Many students just go along with this, but in reality, Misaki is just one of those students that doesn't get a lot of appreciation, and kind of is looked at as like, no, we do not support that person, or to the point of she's not even looked at as a human. She's more treated like as, oh, you see that girl over there? Yeah, you have issues, man. So yeah, treated pretty bad, let's say. And due to this, he kind of later on throughout the anime, he kind of gets to know her little by little, and they eventually become closer. And yeah, I'd say the story is pretty cool. You know, the story of another. I liked it. Short, simple, good. The next thing I want to talk about is the music. Now, I love music in anime. Okay, and gaming. You know, I'm gonna be honest, like me personally, I listen to more gaming and anime music than lyrical, how people would say real life music or real music. You know, which I always say that's stupid in my opinion, because music is music. Don't get me wrong, there's good, like what people say, real music, right? But me personally, I kind of like a little bit more gaming and anime music. So just wanted to put that out there because I don't think I will ever talk about that topic ever again. So the music in another was great. You know, I'd say this. It helps create an interest in, like, for example, in certain moments, there are music that plays out and stuff like that. Like in some moments, it's kind of basic stuff, but in other moments, it kind of helps improve on the mysterious feeling and all that. But not always that means it's good because sometimes it does good, sometimes it does bad in certain moments. But specifically talking about the intro, let's talk about, right? The intro was great. I like the background instruments, the singer fits the whole theme of the anime, and I like the visuals of the intro as well. You know, the outro has good piano music and good visuals in the background, and the singer sounded good as well. And it gets better towards the end of the song as well. And then, it's more like peaceful. And then, for example, the outro, it gets us hyped to like, oh, and sets out this mystery thing. Like, oh, what are we going to see? Gives us, but for me personally, it was like, oh man, what are we going to see? Is it going to be like this? Is it going, you know what I mean? And then the outro was like, you know what? That was a good episode. Now we get to hear some peaceful music. We get to see some nice visuals and good way to end off an episode. And yeah, that's how I feel about music. Next thing I want to talk about is now, uh, I'd say, kind of getting into the bad things. There are a few bad things that I had in the show, but it doesn't ruin the whole anime or the episodes in general. I like old episodes, but it's just in some episodes they have small things that I kind of felt like I don't know talking about. Um, for example, so the first thing I is that I feel like besides the Misaki, Kochi, and the story, like everything else was not as good. It just did not come out as. For example, let me say this. To be honest, long story short, it kind of feels like small horror moments, and they kind of use kind of cheap, like what I call a little bit cheapish, like pop-ups, like something popped up, we need to be scared because it's a pop-up and it's music, da, 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 boom. Like, and stuff like that. For example, there's um later on, there's what was it, for example, I don't want to try to spoil something, so I'm thinking in a way. So there's a moment where a civilian is doing something, he gets distracted, and that results in an accident. So let's say that, right? I don't take that as a spoiler at all, but yeah, something like that, for example. Or, oh, oh, this is something similar that you could find in a basic horror video game or basic horror movie, in my opinion. It kind of felt like that at moments. And I'd say those are the bad things. It's not a big issue within another, but it's something I wanted to bring up because, well, what is a review without talking about the negatives, and I kind of want to be honest with it. I don't want to just cheaply move on, you know. So the last thing I want to talk about, I want to say is that another is a anime that is short, but it uses its episodes to bring us many interesting and great things, and I like that another. I like that about another. Usually short animes are like, I love short animes. Don't get me wrong, and I love long animes. So I don't, this or that. Now, me personally, I watch a lot of slice of life short animes and comedy, slice of life comedy short animes, and I love that, and I do enjoy the whole animes. But I'd say this: if another does somewhat get like a sequel or a movie, I'd enjoy more of that because we get to see more of, my Misaki and Koichi, and maybe they improve all the characters or introduce all the whole shit, just introduce new background characters so we could get, more invested in them, and maybe they could be more better than these backup characters. And yeah, that's my final thing I wanted to say. So tell me what you all think about another. I would like to recommend another, because it was a really cool anime. Like the characters, main characters, I just wanted to make that clear, were great, which are interesting, cool. I like the adventure of Mai and Kochi throughout this anime and them working together as a team. I like the music. The story was also good, and yeah, all out, I'd say is one of my favorite animes. Um, and yeah. Oh, the animes that I recommend watching are Perfect Blue because it is another horror anime, and it is a movie with a great story as well. And the characters are also interesting. And to be honest, I'd say even the background characters kind of is more likable than the background characters of another. So that's another thing. And I want to also recommend Marai Nikki or Future Diary because I also love the characters, the main characters, and some of the background characters I say is better than uh, another. And also the OVA also has great and all out cool, you know. So with those two, I hope you enjoy. Now, tell me what you think in the comments below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, bye.